Hey everybody, it's Damian from Guitar Journey here, and today we're going to answer one very simple question that's going to hopefully clear up any confusion that you may have about how to use a capo. What is that one question? It's real simple. You got to ask yourself, what do I want to change? When you go to play a song, what specifically is it that you want to change by using a capo? And there are going to be a couple of different answers there, so let's use some examples. Okay, let's get right into it. Imagine this situation. You're playing a song that goes something like A minor to C major to G major back to A minor. You know, A minor, C major, G major, back to A minor. Now imagine you're getting together with a friend and you're planning to play that song together. Now imagine this. You get the lyrics and the chords written out on a page. Your friend pulls out her guitar and looks at the chords and says, hey, I play this song in a different key. She says, I don't play A minor to C to G. I actually play B minor to D to A. And your friend explains that she plays it this way because B minor, the key of B minor instead of the key of A minor, B minor is a better key for her singing voice. It's a better range for her. In other words, your friend plays the same song, but not in the same key. Every chord is one letter forward in the musical alphabet. Instead of playing A minor, your friend plays B minor. Instead of playing C major, your friend plays D major. Instead of playing G major, your friend is playing A major. Okay, that's our hypothetical situation. And in this situation, you start thinking to yourself, yeah, this might be a good time to use a capo. And when you're thinking about using a capo, here's where you have to ask yourself that critical question that I mentioned earlier. What do I want to change? And I'm going to phrase this question kind of as an either-or type of thing, but there'll be circumstances where you actually want to change a couple of things. But for simplicity's sake right now, we're going to answer that question as sort of as an either-or. Either-or. When we ask, what do we really want to change? What we're really asking is, do I want to change the key of the song and probably keep my chord fingerings, change the key of the song, or do I want to change my chord fingerings, maybe to some easier fingerings, but actually keep the key of the song? Again, do I want to change the key of the song, or do I want to change my chord fingerings? Now, like I said a moment ago, there may be times where you want to change both your chord fingerings and the key of the song, but for now, it's more helpful to think of these situations, as I said, kind of as an either-or for now, okay? All right, let's try to answer that question. What do I really want to change? In light of the scenario we talked about earlier. You're used to playing this particular song in A minor. Your friend is used to playing it in B minor. She says that's a better key for her to sing in. What do? Well, of course, the first thing you can do is not even worry about a capo and just go ahead and play, you know, B minor to D major to A major along with your friend. And why wouldn't you do that every time instead of even worrying about a capo? Let's imagine that when you play this song, when you play it in your comfortable key of A minor, you kind of like to Travis pick it, and you like to weave a little bit of a melody. Nothing particularly fancy, nothing amazing, just a little bit of a melody into the chord so that A minor to C major to G major back to A minor. It's going to sound something like this, you know, maybe we're Travis picking. Something like that. You can see that this little melody I'm playing with this Travis picking, finger picking pattern that I'm doing really works nicely with these chord shapes, A minor, C, G. Can I play the same sort of melody in B minor like my friend wants me to in this hypothetical situation? Well, the answer is yes, but it's really not as easy or as comfortable to play, you know, this melody here in the B minor. I've got to have my pinky moving all over. When I do the D major, I've got to stretch out to there, you know, to do this. And that's just going to be a little awkward. So let's get back to that very important question that we posed earlier. Do we want to keep the chord fingerings but change the key of the song, or do I want to change my chord fingerings and keep the key of the song? Well, we just said that this melody works pretty nicely out of shapes like A minor, C, and G. And while I can do it in the B minor to D major to A major shapes, it's just not as comfortable. So in this case, I want to keep my chord fingerings. What I want to change is the key of the song. I want to keep my A minor, my C major, my G, but I want them to sound in the key of B minor. I want them to sound like B minor to D to A major. And this is a great reason to use a capo. All right, so where should I place the capo? As I've said before in many of my videos, even if you learn like zero music theory, you must know what is called the chromatic scale very comfortably. And a quick definition of the chromatic scale is it's not really a scale you'd play on guitar. It's just a list of all the notes that we have in Western music, all 12 of them. And each little place along the chromatic scale is called a half step, and that half step correlates to one fret on the guitar. So each little place along the chromatic scale is one fret on the guitar. To go from G to G sharp is one fret. To go from A to B is 2 frets. Okay? Very quick aside, and I'm going to mention this just because it does trip some people up. Please keep in mind that when we hear the words major and minor in this context, the words major and minor are referring to different chord shapes. You know, here's A minor, here's A major, you know? Please don't confuse majors and minors with sharps and flats, okay? Sharps and flats are you going up and down the neck. Majors and minors for right now, those are just chord shapes, 2 totally different things. And you probably already knew that, but I wanted to point it out because it does trip some people up, okay? All right, back to our hypothetical jam situation. I want to raise the pitch of my song. I want to change the pitch. I want to change the key. I want to raise the pitch of my song in A minor up to B minor. And of course, when I place the capo, I'll be raising the pitch of my A minor, my C, and my G chords, okay? That I'll be fingering, okay? And I can look at the chromatic scale and I can see that B is 2 places, that is 2 frets above A. That is to the right of A on the chromatic scale, to the right of A. And so if I'm trying to change what I'm doing from the key of A minor to the key of B minor, I need to put my capo at the 2nd fret. If I'm trying to keep this chord shape, but create this sound, then I need to put my capo at the 2nd fret. And when I do that, placing my capo at the 2nd fret, there's the sound that I wanted to create. I'm strumming an A minor shape, but I'm really getting a B minor chord, okay? Another very quick aside. When you place a capo, you want to double check the tuning of your guitar. I'm not doing that now in the interest of time, but it's something you definitely want to be aware of in your own playing. After you place the capo, go ahead and double check the tuning, okay? So again, thinking about the important question that we posed earlier, what do we want to change? Do we want to change the key of the song, or do we want to change the chord shapes that we're actually fingering, okay? My example that I just gave you of playing A minor chord shapes but changing into the key of B minor, sounding the key of B minor, is a good example of we want to keep our chord shapes but change the key of the song. Okay, what would be a situation where I would want to use a capo to change the chord shapes and maybe keep the key of the song? Well, let's take another example. Let's imagine a situation where your friend presents to you a new original song. And the song goes this E major bar chord right here to G sharp major to C sharp minor. Okay, maybe it sounds something like this. And you're totally capable of playing those bar chords, but just like we did earlier with our A minor to C to G, we really like to finger pick and weave little melodies into our chords and so on and so forth. And these bar chords maybe aren't totally conducive to that. Okay, it can be done, it's just maybe not as comfortable. So in this situation, you're saying to yourself, okay, I want to keep the key of the song. I don't want to change the key of the song. I want to keep the key of the song. What I want to change are those sort of awkward bar chords that don't allow me to weave melodies into my finger picking and so forth. And so you look at the chromatic scale and you find that E chord that we start on and you ask yourself, what could be an easier chord shape than that E chord? And this is important. You want to be looking to the left of that E, to the left. remember, we want to keep the key of the song. But if we're going to be using a capo, which raises the pitch, we're going to have to sort of balance out raising the pitch by using chord shapes to the left of the chord, okay? To the left of the chord that we're trying to keep, which in this case is the E chord. And so you say to yourself, okay, instead of playing that E bar chord, I wonder if I could play maybe a C chord. And I take a look at the chromatic scale and I see that C is 4 places along the chromatic scale, which equates to 4 frets on the guitar, to the left of E. All right, C is 4 frets to the left of E. And then I check the G sharp major chord in my friend's song, and I notice that 4 places to the left of G sharp is E. Okay, just like C is 4 frets to the left of E, this E right here, an E shape is 4 frets to the left of G sharp. And I double check the C sharp chord that's in a C sharp minor chord that's in my friend's song, and I find that A is 4 frets to the left of a C sharp note. So C, E, and A are all 4 frets to the left of E, G sharp, and C sharp, okay? And that means that if I put my capo on the 4th fret and shape a C chord, it's going to sound like the E chord that my friend really prefers to sing to. And similarly, with my capo with the 4th fret, my E major chord is going to sound like that G sharp major, the chord that my friend prefers to sing to, and my A minor chord is going to sound like that C sharp minor chord that my friend prefers to sing to. Okay, this is a pretty good example of a situation where I want to actually keep the key of the song that I'm playing in, keep the key, but change the chord shapes. So very quick example, I want this E chord, and I put the capo at the 4th fret, and now I've got a C. And that works, okay? So that's the mindset here. Do we want to change the key of the song, or on the other hand, are we looking to keep the key but change the chord shapes? And in both cases, you're going to want to use the chromatic scale to help you identify at which fret you want to place the capo. Just a couple of really quick closing points. Like I said towards the beginning of this video, there'll be times where you want to both change the key of the song and change the chord fingerings. In order to keep yourself from getting overwhelmed, try taking a step-by-step process. First, identify the chord fingerings that you would prefer to use. And only after you do that, then worry about finding what key you want to actually have the chords sound in. Have a step-by-step approach. Don't try to figure those two things out simultaneously. And finally, I want to point out there's one last reason to use a capo, which is just that you might prefer the sound, that's all. Remember that A minor to C to G thing I played earlier in the video? Here it is again, very simple. Okay? I might say to myself, I'm going to put the capo on the 4th fret and play the very same thing. And how does it sound? Again, I'd check the tuning and all that, but I'm not going to do. Here's the same thing. And you might say, well, that sounds a little sweeter, maybe a bit gentler, you know, whatever word you want to use. So if we're going to turn that A minor to C to G thing into a complete song, I might decide to play it capo with the 4th fret just because I like the sound, the tone, the timbre a little bit more. And that's totally legitimate as well, okay? All right, that's what I have for you today. I hope this clears up some of the confusion you might have been experiencing when playing with other people, thinking about playing in different keys, using comfortable chord shapes, thinking about utilizing a capo, and so forth. If you found today's video helpful, please give it a like and please hit the subscribe button as well. It's really my goal here on the Guitar Journey channel to help you navigate this path that is learning and playing guitar. Okay, so please hit like, please hit subscribe, and if you really like today's video, please buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee at the link below in the description below right here, okay? I really do appreciate your support in keeping all this content available for free here on YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to, Please feel free to leave a comment as well. I really do believe that we're building a community here on the Guitar Journey channel, and I really do welcome your feedback. I'd love for us to have an intelligent, respectful discussion where we can all learn from each other. So again, please hit like, please hit subscribe, buy me a coffee if you'd like, and leave a comment if you'd like to do that as well. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.